the strike action by lecturers in the Imo State University. Well, there are moments when a university shuts its gates, not because there is no lecturer willing to teach, not because there is no student willing to learn, but because somewhere between an agreement signed and an agreement honored, the system has broken down. And this morning, Imo State University, Owerri, is at one of those moments. Yesterday, the Academic Staff Union of Universities, IMSU chapter, announced what it described as a total and indefinite strike. Not a warning, not another ultimatum, not another temporary withdrawal of services, an indefinite strike. But those words, those three words, an indefinite strike, is a much larger story. A story about trust, government commitments, university administration, workers' welfare, institutional autonomy, and ultimately the quality of education we're offering the next generation. Because when a lecturer says an entitlement has remained unpaid for years, the question is no longer simply whether the lecturer should go on strike. The more uncomfortable question is what happened before the strike became necessary, and that is the question we will be finding answers to this morning on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the brief right here on Groove 98.1 FM Owerri. It is an education story, an economic story, and also governance story. And of course, to help us interrogate these issues this morning, we have two gentlemen in the studio who are not merely observing this dispute from outside. Of course, the chairman of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, Imo State University branch, and one of the principal voices behind the position announced by the union yesterday is live in the studio with us this morning. Comrade Stephen Oguji is the chairman of ASUU Imo State University chapter. Good morning to you, Comrade. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Good morning, listeners.
All right, and we also have Comrade Rich Ebe. He's the convener, CPED. CPED is Center for Popular, right? Okay, Center for Popular Education, CPED. Glad to have you join us, Comrade.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
All right, we're beginning with Comrade Oguji in the studio, right? Let's begin with the most fundamental question. Yesterday, you declared a total and indefinite strike for the benefit of the students, parents, and the wider public listening to us this morning. Take us back to the point where you concluded that dialogue has failed. We are going to shut down, and that the only remaining option is to withdraw your services indefinitely. What exactly happened?
Okay, you will recall that federal government and ASUU had an agreement in 2009, and then that agreement was to be reviewed every 3 years. Unfortunately, government reneged. It was a renegotiation actually started again in 2017. That renegotiation lasted for another 8 years. So that eventually on 23rd of December 2025, FG and ASUU had an agreement, what is now called ASUU-FG 2025 agreement. That agreement was to take effect from January 1, 2026. And it actually took effect in almost all the federal universities in the country. And also, some state universities have started implementing the agreement. But in our case, in Imo State University, that agreement has not been implemented, has not even been discussed. That's the problem. So, and following the normal procedure of the union, we've corresponded, we've communicated with management why they should implement the agreement. We've also had one-on-one engagement with management. We've done all the procedures, ultimately issuing an ultimatum on June 17, 2026. That 21-day ultimatum ended on July 8th. On July, 1 week after that, that's July 15, we assembled again and took a resolution that if this agreement is not implemented, the union, in line with its procedures, will ask NEC. NEC is the National Executive Council. That is almost the highest policy-making body of the union, for permission for action. And that permission was ultimately granted just 3 days ago. Hence, yesterday, 10th of August, by 8 a.m., we gathered and shut down the university. Like you described it, for a total and an indefinite strike.
There is no day for the lecturers to return.
none until
Okay.
that day is the day the agreement is implemented.
Before we go to Comrade Ebe in the studio, your statement refers to the 2025 ASUU federal government agreement signed
Exactly.
on December 23,
Yes.
scheduled to take effect from the 1st of January. Now, for the benefit of those listening this morning, what precisely are the components of that agreement that apply to IMSU, Imo State University, and who is responsible for implementing each component, and where exactly has the implementation broken down?
The contents of the agreement are simply conditions that will make our university system function better. The agreement has welfare, salary welfare, enhanced welfare packages. The agreement has issues on university autonomy. The agreement has all the components that's all geared at making our universities function better than they function as they should. And it is squarely on the table of the Imo State government, the Imo State governor, who is the visitor to the university to implement these agreements. However, these agreements, the implementation will run procedurally through from management to the council, then to the visitor. So, but ultimately, it is the responsibility of the governor to implement the contents of the agreement.
Okay.
Comrade Rich Ebe, I hope I got that correctly.
Yeah,
Welcome, sir.
thank you.
So, as the convener for the Center for Popular Education, I see CEPED.
CEPED.
CEPED, okay.
Okay.
It's an arm of the union
Okay, so
who's
yes,
actually
we need you
tasked
to
with
explain
this
that.
popular, this what we are doing here now.
Okay, interesting. So,
Okay,
The-
so you are a lecturer in IMSU.
Yes. I'm
Okay,
a
so
lecturer.
explain what CPED actually does as it relates to ASUU in IMSU.
Okay, the CEPED is an arm of ASUU that actually is not directly controlled by the Academic Staff Union of Universities. It's a body registered, fully registered, and that operates as an education platform, a platform for educating the populace, the Nigerian populace, about not just education, but every issue, right from politics to infrastructural challenges, whatever angle. Our goal is to reach out to everybody that constitutes the Nigerian population: market women, school children, mechanics, name it. The main thrust of CEPED is to ensure that the Nigerian population is armed with the information about what happens in government that will, at the end of the day, affect them. That is why ASUU created CEPED as a different arm. We reach out like voter education. We reach out to tell them
more like
so on and
civil
so.
society.
So every state university has its chapter of CPED.
Yes.
Okay. No, I can.
So,
now
so
I have a
can
better
you speak
understanding.
to some of the grievances that Comrade Oguji spoke about? He mentioned promotion arrears dating back to 2016, earned allowances, and the likes. At what point does an unresolved obligation become institutional failure?
Like he mentioned, the 2025 FGN agreement commenced in 1st January 2026, and one of the important components is CATA, the Consolidated Academic Tools Allowance,
Okay.
which implies that academics are supposed to earn an additional 40% of their salary, which is completely tax-free allowance. This allowance covers journal publications, Learn Society dues, conferences that we attend, and all that. So that component is very, very vital. And there was a review also on several other aspects of what the academics are supposed to earn.
Okay.
Like PG supervision, the payment, we receive honorarium for it. It was reviewed upward, where lecturer 1 we receive 30,000 naira, lecturer 2 we receive 40,400 naira for supervising PG programs, and a reader or professor will receive 50,000 naira. This isn't much in the right sense of it, because if you consider the time it takes to supervise a student, you will understand it. Then teaching practice for those in education goes for between 84,000 to 140,000. Then even thesis examination for external examination, because we have what we call external examination. When a professor goes for external examination, the money that you should earn. There are also other things that accrue to even in terms of leave. In terms of leave.
All these are your earned academic allowances that are
no, the earned academic allowance is different.
Okay, it's different, but these are some of the agreements reached with the government.
Yes,
but I want to understand something. Who made these agreements with the government? Because I learned it's a federal government and lecturers agreement, but Imo State University is going on strike. Why is it that Imo State University is going on strike when other federal universities are not on strike? And this agreement was made with the federal government.
Yeah, the agreement was made with ASUU and the federal government, with the state government also present.
Okay.
They were part of it, and the team.
Let me add that quickly that when we say federal government here, we mean the federal government at the federal level and federating units, which are the states. So the agreement was signed by federal government. This federal government includes Abuja and Owerri and Enugu and Awka. So it's not just federal government as Abuja. So it means all the federal and the federating units.
I want to understand something, Comrade Oguji. Were the states, the federating units, were they represented during the course of that
They were fully represented in the 8-year discussion, and they were all signatories.
So why is Imo State government yet to implement their own?
That's a question that belongs to government.
We can't answer that.
Okay. I want to also understand something. Is Imo State the only state yet to implement this agreement?
No. There are several other state universities that have not implemented it, and they're also on strike as we are, starting from yesterday.
Interesting.
Yes.
So, I need to also understand something. Let's talk about the welfare in the Imo State University, because a lot of persons have said something about the welfare condition of lecturers. Apart from that, the state of that university. Will you say that you are okay with the present condition of Imo State University in terms of infrastructure and the welfare of the lecturers there?
I'm still trying to get the right word to describe our very bad situation in that institution. The welfare condition is generally bad. The infrastructure is bad. I wish you make a visit and look at an average lecturer's office, you would simply pity us. If you find a better one, that individual on his own furnish that office. For instance, we've been promoted, let me say, notionally since 2016. You get a promotion letter, but it doesn't reflect in the pay you receive. You stay on one pay for 2, 3, 4, 5 years. So on salary wise, nothing has changed for the past 10 years. Employment wise, IMSU has not employed for the past 11 years.
Wow.
You can imagine that people are retiring. A few have resigned and japa in the current, people have left the university. A few have died. And every day our number keep reducing. We keep managing the same number of students. In the last 11 years, there has not been any official advertisement and employment of new lecturers into that institution. It's as bad as that.
That's disturbing. 11 years, no new appointments. Wonderful. So, Dr. Stephen, Part of your demands.
We prefer comrades.
Oh, forgive me.
At this point, it's not an academic.
Exactly.
It's,
We are labor leaders.
it's a labor.
I'm hopeful I'll get my PhD soon.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you are welcome.
So I guess that explains my bias. So, Comrade Stephen,
Yes, sir.
part of your demands, you said one of the reasons you embarked on this indefinite strike is because some of your members are not being paid.
Exactly.
And then you said the continuous use by the state government, the continuous insistence of the state government to use the single treasury account is also. I want you to expand on this. How is it that some persons have not been receiving their salaries? I'm trying to, you know.
There is this issue of the Treasury Single Account, TSA in short form. You remember the Abuja during Buhari time introduced IPs.
Yes.
That is a way federal government was paying all federal government employees from one source.
Yes.
States, for instance, Imo State, domesticated that through what is called the TSA. TSA is a situation where all monies received in IMSU go straight to a single government account. All school fees, all defense fees, all admission acceptance fees go straight to government coffers, and then from there, government now pays all its employees. So that's what TSA means. And in IMSU, that has been our situation for many years now, especially since this present government came in. So government pays us. If I receive my salary now, it comes straight from government house. However, by the principle of university administration, every university is autonomous. Every university should generate its own money, run its own affairs, and then account to government. Government should only give subvention to universities, but our own is not the case. So, given this situation, given where one single office in government house should manage thousands of employees under government, the possibility that there will be mistakes, there will be oversights, and there will be issues is there. In Imo State University, many of our members, sometimes 5 months you don't see your salary, suddenly it starts again. Sometimes you are a senior lecturer who should be on let's say for instance on 100,000 as your salary, for instance, you are paid 50 and nobody to explain. But if this situation is not there and our bursary regulates our payments, our payroll, you can easily walk into the bursary, explain your situation, provide necessary documents, and those things are rectified. But the present leadership of ASUU-IMSU has made all the efforts through the accountant general, through the data center, to correct these issues. As I'm talking to you, in the last 11 months, we've lost up to 15 lecturers.
Wow.
Because of poor welfare condition. Can you imagine a situation where a professor of a Nigerian university cannot afford his basic drugs? Because his salary is so poor. And sometimes in 1 month, something misses. And you nobody to respond. You send the letter, they say, meet this person, meet this. At the end, nothing happens. It's as bad as
So
that.
how has this university been surviving? Because I don't know how to describe the picture you've painted this morning. It's pathetic. And you're saying the government is not aware, or the government is aware and not doing anything about these issues that you raised this morning.
Honestly, we are surviving by the grace of God. If you look at the situation in IMSU and compare it with other sister communities, even state universities around, you will feel the pain. Like some of us who travel out for conferences. Like recently, I was at Delta State University. Delta State University is a university that started way back after IMSU have already established. You will see that in terms of infrastructure, office space,
lecture halls, we are way back. We fight for lecture halls. Lecturers quarrel to get space to teach.
What do you mean by lecturers quarrel?
Because no space to teach.
Wow.
You and I have lectures at the same time, let's say by 8 a.m. We arrive, the only space available is only for one lecturer. And you find lecturers almost each time struggling over seats, over space, where to stay and teach. Wow. That's the situation.
Comrade, I don't know how to react to the present issue, but we will try our possible best to bring a representative of the government to defend some of these things, ask questions.
Exactly.
Because we're for balance here. But in all of this, Comrade, I feel for the student. Let us put the student at the center of this conversation. every strike has a cost, and the student often pays the first price. How does ASUU reconcile the legitimate demand for lecturers' rights with the disruption of an indefinite strike causes what the indefinite strike will cause to the students who have no role whatsoever in this dispute? And what safeguards do we have? Because the students are going to be back home doing nothing. And at the end of the day,
unfortunately, we have to take the action. We were pushed to the wall. And the fact that students are going to feel the pain is something that we know, like has been in others, like it has happened in other strike. We know that it's like what the Igbos say, mini doronejichu, dorowankita. It is something that we are going to go back to. We must also cover up for the students at the point of resolution. That has always been what we do in ASUU.
Well, let me add that no matter
on.
how far you've gone along the wrong paths, anytime you discover that where the road you are taking is wrong, you turn back. If you are going to Aba and you find yourself driving towards Port Harcourt, anytime you discover that you're on the wrong path, you have to go back. If you continue because you've gone far, you are still on the wrong path. If we say, let's keep managing, we produce what is today, the situation in Nigeria is not about unemployment, it is about unemployability. These are two different things.
Comrade, permit me to cut in your line of thoughts. There is a difficult question I believe you must answer this morning.
Yes.
Successive strikes have failed to permanently resolve these grievances. These grievances did not start today. You've gone on strike and went back to the classroom. Is the traditional model of industrial action still working?
Yes. Each of those strikes, even though they mightn't have achieved all the demands, some of them were met before interventions and promises and dialogues came in.
So you believe strike is the only way out?
No. ASUU strike is the last resort. We start with, let me give you an example why ASUU-IMSU started strike yesterday. First of all, from NEC, following ASUU procedure, we wrote management in February, communicating the agreement to management that this is what we are supposed to do. Then, no response, no letters. In March, we wrote again, no response, no letters. Then we had one-on-one engagement with the Vice Chancellor. Well, he spoke with us, but didn't make any commitment. Ultimately, we met and issued an ultimatum. This is in ASUU constitution. You issue an ultimatum saying, if this doesn't happen within this time frame, this is the next line of action.
So you gave a 21-day
21 day on June 17, and that ultimatum ended on July 8. Then we now requested for permission for action from NEC. These are the procedures you must follow. ASUU-IMSU wouldn't get up and go on strike. ASUU as a national body must grant you the permission to do that. So we requested for that permission, and that permission was ultimately granted 2 days ago on August 9th, and then we proceeded for action on August 10th. Go ahead.
And in addition, before granting the permission, ASUU sent a three-man visitation team, including the zonal chairman of.
That's the federal.
Yes, the ASUU national.
National.
They sent 3 top members of ASUU, including our zonal chairman for Were Zone, comprising about 5 or 6 universities, who came here. They had a meeting with us. And I can reliably inform you that meeting was packed. Members who had already lost interest in the struggle came that day, and everywhere was packed and questions were asked. And I remember clearly the chairman of the visitation panel asked us a simple question: what do you want? And everybody chorused, we want an action. And what type of action? We want to go on strike if this cannot be settled. And we also weighed in. Definitely there will be 1 or 2 persons who don't support what we are saying. And they spoke on the floor of Congress. But overwhelmingly, the decision was that we should proceed. And that was why the visitation panel went back to NEC and gave the report, and we got the permission. Thank you.
Interesting. Comrade Stephen, let me come back to you. In your statement yesterday, you said, I'm going to tie two questions together. First and foremost, I acknowledge the fact that IMSU is not looking like a university in the real sense of the word. I understand your plight. Of course, I have lecturer friends, and yes, I agree with you. And I've wondered, why is it that IMSU doesn't have indigenes and people who come who come to I'm looking for the right word, put up what they call an endowment fund or endowment structures. I see a few buildings. I see one that the SUG is doing, maybe it or something. But how is it that when you go to other places, I see what Africa's richest woman has done, Mama Folorun Shalakija, what she did in a university in the southwest. I can't remember the name now. But they put up this beautiful structure for the university. How is it that IMSU hasn't been able to attract that kind of philanthropists that show strong presence in their state of home state of origin? And then to the second question, I find it a bit interesting that in your statement you clearly called for intervention from religious and traditional rulers over this issue.
Okay, number one, let me correct the impression. We have had individuals who have also set up buildings. 3rd of January 2026. That's a very mighty building, single-handedly built by someone, I can't remember his name immediately, for Medlaw, and commissioned for the use of students, and it's being used presently.
Okay.
However, and we expect more of such. Let's also use this opportunity to ask well-meaning Imolites and Nigerians in general to please, whatever, anyone that God has blessed who can assist us in any way should come into the university. There are many that can meet the administration. The administration has a list of several interventions where they can come in. Secondly, before we declare the strike, we've we've tried to use informal ways to bring in persons to intervene. It is only when these efforts fail that strike becomes the last resort. So we've spoken to main religious leaders, we've spoken to politicians, we've spoken to those we believe are close to powers that be. Please intervene. Do this. But though all those efforts didn't yield much, and ultimately we can't fold our hands and see our university crumble. So being on strike is the last thing we can do to make sure things get better, to make sure our administration even have their full authority and autonomy to operate. We even pity our vice chancellor that he is almost helpless, and our action is for the good of management, number one, for the welfare of lecturers, and for the good of students. It is not only about welfare of lecturers, it is about making our university be what it should be. Imo State University, as it is now, infrastructure-wise, welfare-wise, administrative-wise, it is not a university.
Okay. And there is this sad occurrence that happens. That is happening to our colleagues who retire. Our senior professors who retire, they go home beggarly.
What is working in IMSU?
Yeah, exactly.
They go home beggarly.
What exactly is working in IMSU? Please tell us.
Well, IMSU is a university. We run academic sessions. We manage to teach. We manage to examine our students, issue results, graduate them, go to use. But the conditions in which we do these things are not what they should be, and our fight is to make sure the right.
I was forced to ask that question because if the lecturers that are presently in the system are complaining, the ones that retired are also going home beggarly, and the question is, what is really working in terms of workers' welfare? I don't know if you've come across the state government, unfortunately, is yet to respond, maybe through the Commissioner for Tertiary Education or the Commissioner for Information. We're awaiting that hopefully before the end of the day. Yes, I'm going to ask you a question, maybe two questions before we throw the lines open. The APC responded, APC Imo State. I don't know if you've seen the statement by FCC Jones Onwusanya PhD, and he's appealing to lecturers in the Imo State University And he's asking, why should ASUU prioritize the continuation of the strike over the immediate completion of exam? Because I understand that this action has disrupted scheduled examinations, especially when students themselves are caught in the middle.
Okay, let me go back a little.
Okay.
If you remember, nearly 2 years ago, September 21, 2024, ASUU-IMSU also went on strike over several other issues like pension, lack of payment of promotion arrears, EAA, check-off dues, and all that. And within 1 week, government came in and made a litany of promises. Please suspend, let us discuss, we will address this matter. So between September 21 and September 28, that strike ended. And after that suspension till nearly 2 years, by next month it will be 2 years, nothing has happened in that area. So this particular strike is specifically for implementation of ASUU-FG 2025 agreement. So the point is that yes, our strike has disrupted the exam, but if management council, the visitor, had listened to us between January 2026 and July 2026, 7 months plus down the line, there could have been no reason to disrupt exams. So they could have responded, called us for a meeting, had a discussion, that could have done several things before now to stop this. So exams really have been disrupted, but there's
nothing you can do.
Almost.
And finally, there is a particular interesting claim in the APC statement.
Yes.
I'm bringing up a point in that because APC is the only party that is the only body that has responded, which is tied to the government at the moment, IMO APC. The party says that out of 63 state universities in Nigeria, only about 6 states have either commenced or fully implemented this agreement that you guys went on strike for, meaning roughly 90% are yet to do so. So if that figure is correct, why should IMO be expected to implement the agreement immediately?
I think
what makes IMSU's case different?
The question is, why shouldn't IMO be part of the 6% that have implemented? However, that figure is wrong because I have better information than that. At least, as at the last count, at least 11 state universities have fully implemented this agreement, and others where it has not been implemented are on strike because we just finished NEC yesterday, on Sunday, and then the strike started yesterday. So all those universities where the agreement has not been implemented also came with a request to be allowed to proceed for action, like IMSU. So if 6% has implemented, why wouldn't IMSU be part of that 6%? And IMSU, our governor, is the leader of the progressive governors. He's the leader of the government in power. So even if it's 1%, it should start with our government. It should start with Imo State.
Interesting. So the lines are open. The conversation is not complete without having to feel the pulse of the people. Of course, it is Groove 98.1 FM. The brief, we've been speaking with 2 comrades in the studio. Of course, Comrade Rich Ebe is the convener, SEPAD. SEPAD is Center for Popular Education. And of course, Comrade Stephen Oguji is the chairperson of ASUU for Imo State University. The numbers are 0911 660 6981 or 0913 838 0808. Let's have your thoughts. What do you make of this? Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning, Mike and Angela.
Good morning. Welcome, sir.
Good morning to guests in the studio.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This is one mind calling from the relative.
All right, go ahead, please.
Please, I believe in fact, not a sure. In any problem, there is a cause. We had all of you your predicaments, what people are passing through, that makes you engage in this indefinite strike. But when 2 elephants is fighting in the grass, we are suffering it. The students are the ones to suffer it. So their parents have paid all their dues of fees for them to be in school. You see what is happening now. But what area I'm going now is this. Some of you lecturers or professors, your qualification or your academic are the ones contributing to this issue. What does that mean? During election time, most of your lecturers and professors are returning officers. what good rule are they showing to make sure that they will not experience all this predicament? Because during election time, as returning officers, they succumb, they compromise to do otherwise. That is why this government, general from federal to state, are playing with their interests, because they are still the people who have selfish interests during election time. Tell all your lecturers who involve themselves during election time to stand up and stand for a good ride, so that it's not experience this anymore. That's my pitch.
Thank you. I appreciate you for sharing your thoughts with us there. We're going to take a couple of comments, then the lecturers can react. Hello, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Mike.
You're welcome. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Madam Angela.
Oh, good morning, Catchison. Thank you for joining us again.
I'm back, yes. You know, you are always late to this guy.
Namaste.
Good morning, the guests in the studio.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you.
Yeah. My name is Catchison Ekuha, a graduate of Imo State University. I am calling from my community of the West local government. I want to be very particular and plain and bold to ask you a question by your word. When you made these two statements, I wrote them down so that I will ask it verbatim, as you said. One of you there said that a professor cannot afford his basic drugs. And one of you again said that our professors retire and go home beggarly, in quotes, beggarly. Now I want to ask you a question, the person that said this. Why would the situation be so when it is these same professors who are appointed returning officers to these politicians, and when you go at the back, you will collect bribe and declare another person the winner, you will see black and call it white, just because something has a changed hand. So what do you now expect when that person who didn't win the election that you declared is not up the way he or she should in governance? It will directly affect you, because what goes around comes around. If you said beggarly, good and fine, it is good for them. So if they don't want to go home beggarly, people should advise them when they are appointed returning officers, they should be upright, like Professor Nenlosi, the former Vice Chancellor of Futo. Look at what she did, and all Nigeria praised her. And just a few months ago, Governor Lesotho named an international bus terminal after her. What good name can one get other than this? So our professors should do better in this coming election. They should be upright like Nena Oti. Then finally, before they want me now, I want to ask a question.
Yes, I'm warning you, sir.
Okay, I know. So I want to ask a question. What is the university search for grades and the sorting? I know what I'm saying. So what is the university doing? The other day, was it at 4 University Oka or something? A lecturer was exposed trying to lure a student in his office, and he jumped from the window.
All right,
we saw it online.
Sorting. All right, we've got a question.
Sorting.
Thank you.
Wait, now did they understand my question?
Yes, yes, we understood it.
Answer me, because
They will
now, so we take more calls.
Please.
Thank you.
Hello, good morning to you.
My beloved brother and sister and the guests, good morning.
You're welcome. Good morning to you.
Thank you. Brother Nandri, that come from Redeemable from you.
All right.
My guest, I don't want you people to be angry, but I want you people to, whatever the callers said this morning, when you go to that neck meeting or any other thing, tell them that Nigeria is one. For us to build it, we must join hands together. Don't look at where you are. If you look at the politicians today, the other day we saw Sonudo's daughter graduating from one university outside country. We saw Wike Child graduating outside country. With a lot of them, none of them, their children is here. So as you are on strike now, who did they affect? My children and your own children and your relative children. So if we stay here to join hands together, making this country work, me and your own children we still celebrating. Why do we say so? Most of us who have come closer to election, when we hold INEC is not them, it's the professors. You hold professors, it's not them, it's IDOC staff. And yet, where did it pass out? That the same thing when we are crying out in Buhari administration is still living heavily now. I want to appeal to you again. Please, whatever it is, I agree with you that our state need to live by example. Because Bible said the leaders live by example. So if the governor of this state is the chairman of governors forum, I think the state could have started it first so that others say we molest. But I want to appeal. Look back. The people that you affect so much are those women who went to their farm, take their land, take their property, take their wrapper, in making sure that they have one graduate and praying that one day when Nigeria is fine, they will have somewhere to feed themselves. As we take our own interest, let us take interest of others. Thank you and God bless you.
Speaking for the student, and that's privileged. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
You're welcome. Good
My
morning.
brother.
Yes, sir.
Auntie Angela, good morning.
Good morning. Welcome, sir. Welcome, sir.
Rich man in the studio, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you.
Yes.
Good morning.
In view of our discourse this morning, I don't have any dint of pity on you guys because you will still go back in 2027 to write a result in favor of somebody who has no certificate. Example, who has no primary, no second.
But they are not the ones now.
And then he is the president. You go to write result in favor of a big gap in favor of you who is so much learned. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. They will definitely respond to this feedback. So, hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, you're
Good morning.
welcome.
Hello.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning. We can hear you. Welcome.
Okay, all right. My name is Izzy. I'm calling from Cherubim Junction.
All right, Eze.
Hello.
Yes,
we
Eze,
can
go
hear you.
ahead,
Please
please.
go ahead.
Okay,
with your-
okay. All right. I just want to share my thoughts on this particular issue. I finished from IMSU 2023, and I can say for a fact that most of what you're getting in the studios have said is actually true. We have a lot of dilapidated structures in IMSU. Its infrastructure is so poor, it's so bad. What you said about lecturers having to boil over all is actually correct. Because I can remember we had a lot of feuds with students of other departments, even students of our own level back then, over actually the most popular ones like the theater, lecture theater hall 1 or something like that. And then our law block, then I finished from the accountancy department. And also our accounting department is also, I don't, sometimes when I take a look at the school, I don't know if it's a university or more like an abandoned secondary school or level. I don't know if I use the word upgraded secondary school. It's just so poor, and I sometimes at the end of the day, it just happens to be that we the students are the ones that bear this brunt. Because I remember 2020 was lockdown, 2020 was a strike. That strike began March. I was still in school then. According to what the lecturer said, that strike ended September. I came back to school on Independence Day, 1st of October. So they are actually correct with most of their facts. And I just want to use this platform to appeal. Our governor should please do more on the infrastructure and the welfare of our lecturers in IMSU. Most of them have to sell textbooks, and these students are forced to buy these textbooks just for them to make ends meet. I was born and brought up in Lagos, but I had to come down to IMSU to school. And one of the factors that brought me back was the fact that they were into, I don't know if they still do it, this indigent something. Our school fees is left as indigent. But I found out that I pay, I think then we're paying 30,000, pay 30,000 for school fees, but we are, at the end of the day, you discover that you buy textbooks of up to 70,000 or 60,000 for textbooks, apart from even sometimes that you have to be forced to even sort and all of that. So I want something to be done drastically, because I finished from there, and I know how. I know how the system runs.
All right.
So that's just what I have to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you. They will definitely respond to these contributions. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning, Mike.
You're welcome.
Welcome.
Yeah, thank you, our guest in the house.
My name is Oguji, Oguji General. I'm calling from Modobo in Ohaji for local government.
All right.
Yeah, actually, I feel the cost of lecturers and the ASUU union. But what I want, it's not peculiar to ASUU. So many systems are bad, and in fact, in Nigeria, the government is not listening to them. You reach agreement with government, they go back and they forget about. They will only urge you start to resume work. Forget the strike. We are going to attend to whatever that is your request. As soon as you resume work, they know it's not going to be easy to organize the strike again. Then they will go and relax. But then, let us say one thing: it is the fault of the lecturers and the professors, because they are the ones that installed this very. Call them again tomorrow, 2007. Ask them to go and announce the right person. They will take money and announce the wrong person. Then that wrong person will come back and begin to deal with them. So we'll pity you on one side, and then the other side will have to urge you to correct yourself, because you are the architect of your problem. Thank you and God bless you.
All right, thank you for sharing your thoughts with us there. Hello, good morning to you.
Yes, good morning.
You're welcome. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, everybody in the studio.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome.
Yes, my name is Mazi Prince Uchenamazi, and this morning Mazi Prince Uchenamazi is calling from Owerri.
All right, Mazi.
Yes, let me start with things to say. So I go into order. Number one, that particular site is located right now. It's not the permanent site of State University. State University has a permanent site. And what has these vice chancellors, previous vice chancellors, present and former, have been doing to relocate State University to their permanent site? Because when you're talking about the dilapidated structures, you don't have a place to teach, because we are not following the process. Let us go back to the drawing board. Imo State University is where it's located, it's where it's cited. If we can go back there and build our own Imo State University, I think so many things will be put in place. But that place we are, there's no can be here. Let us go back to our normal structure where our education is being cited. Lecturers and the vice chancellors are putting people that if this present government has been building structures here and there, what happened to our Imo State? Because I remember before Imo State, I think Adase was stated, we have Uturu. Uturu is Imo State University before it was given to Abia. Now, and when brought it permanent, they call it temporary site. And when brought it here and keep it only temporary site, Imo State has a particular place it was given for them to build their education as Imo State University. So let's go back there. And two, the Israel and the Nigerian government and the agreement. I think Nigerian government is playing with us, the citizens of this country. Oh, none of the governor students are schooling in this country. They go to UK, America, they go to best universities in the whole world, and they are creating problem and confusion to us. If we can correct this thing in 2027, do you any particular region you coming from? The north, the west, the south, the east, anywhere. Let us change the government.
All right, sir.
Not even the government, the people concerned. The people that are their children school here, governors, not the people that are children in America. They will not understand what they are saying. It's like go hungry to next year. It's not that business.
All right.
So let us go back there and make sure that our people have been appointed, because number one, the people give us the workers, the coppers, they call them ad hoc workers, and they are coppers. They are most of the pass through the universities and polytechnics. So let them be given orientation that no government should or president for them to compromise. When I vote, for instance, 2027, if I cast my vote, a copper will write my result and several a person that pays the higher bid.
All right.
And the lecturers and the professors that are declaring results from different
wrap up your thoughts
should be
so
careful.
that we can allow others.
That's it this morning. And you guys have a working day.
Thank you. One more, then we go back to the lecturers in the studio this morning. The ASUU members. Hello, good morning to you. Hello. Yes, sir. You're welcome. Good morning.
Morgan, Angela.
Good morning. Welcome, sir.
Welcome the guests in the studio.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
we are talking about the welfare of ASUU. I want to tell the ASUU chairman there, with all due respect, you see this bright, keep it on. Take the key, go and throw it in the Warri River until Imo State government finished all your payments. If he did not finish the payment, there. And one more thing again, you talk about the vice chancellor, he's helpless. See, let me tell you, he needs to be helpless because some of them are stood to Imo State government. We are crying of IMSU right now. Go to secondary schools in Imo State, you will cry. Take the teachers in the secondary school, they are crying. You say that lecturers, when they retire, they go begging. That's the same thing with the primary and secondary school teachers in Imo State. I want you to get it right this time around. If you don't get it right, I'm talking about the ASUU chairman. If you don't get it right this time around, in future, you will not get it right. Don't open that university until the last farthing is paid. Because I know what this government is up to. I want to tell you, they don't mean well to the civil servant of Imo State, bracket the government, and that is their plan. They want to make sure that the civil servants go on hunger strike along the road.
All right, sir.
Our God is good. This is my submission.
All right, thank you.
God bless.
Thank you. Because of our time, we'd like you to react to the calls, opinions, and thoughts and questions, especially the part of the result collation that has been asked, especially the role the lecturers, the professors that collate results play in our electoral system.
Okay, let me respond quickly that yes, professors are usually appointed by INEC as returning officers. But you know, first of all, ASUU has never appointed any professor. Any professor working for INEC as an ad hoc staff is accepted the offer as a person, not in the name of ASUU. And so that's number one. So ASUU should not be implicated in such issues. Number two is that returning officers in the election process, because you know how election results move from polling units toward the local government to state and then to national level. Sometimes the professors are the collation officers at the state level. And collation, the word collation means to gather the information have been given by the foot soldiers, those people. The real election, the real rigging most times happens at the lower levels, at the polling units, from between the polling units and the ward and the local government. That is where whatever happens most. The collation officers almost can do nothing. But like I said first, ASUU should be disassociated from whatever any professor does. Any professor that is working for INEC is there on a personal basis, not as a representative of the union.
And ASUU has repeatedly made a pronouncement in this regard. ASUU as a body, we do not organize lecturers to allocate them as collation officers. It has never happened in the union, and the union most times discourage members in engaging in electoral fraud. And in instances where lecturers have been caught, prosecuted, have you ever heard the union make a statement? It has never happened. Recently, I think a year or two ago, a professor was jailed. ASUU never made a statement in that regard, and members are warned not to. So, as regards sorting and sex for grade, I think IMSU is not a peculiar situation in this regard, and like other universities, the university frowns at it. The union also frowns strongly against such behaviors, and we will not tolerate it.
And if any member is caught, if any report is brought up with evidence, the university management sets up a panel for investigation, and then if that person is found guilty, a disciplinary committee follows according to the rules of the university.
Interesting. So much been said this morning. Yes. Okay, let's get. Hopefully, we can take more calls and
messages on our
yes, messages on our socials. So, hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning, Michael Oni.
You're welcome,
Good
sir.
morning, welcome, sir. Quickly,
Good
sir.
morning, Angela.
Good morning, sir. Please,
Yes,
quickly,
sir. You
sir.
are speaking with Ozo that is calling you from Obinze.
All
What
right.
is happening to ASUU is nothing but a reward of evil. How many professors have ASUU suspended? Is it not the professor that told Nigeria that elections, the people they are not even defending their way? Are you telling us that from the polling unit, when we want to upload the result, I was in the polling unit, we want to upload the result, government officials, including the professors, we are dodging. And at last they told us glitch. All of us are suffering it together. Look, nobody is paying you 1 naira unless you 2027 is around the corner. Retract your step, put the right people, put the round peg in the round hole, and everything will move. Okay, now a professor is the head of INEC. You have not suspended it. Somebody's result, primary and secondary school result, it's not the other's own idea, and they have accepted it. What are you telling us? Who are you people fooling? Thank you and have a nice day.
All right, thank you so much there. Of course, you could actually feel the anger of the people. And is this that for the activities of some of your members, I understand the argument that ASUU didn't appoint, and it wasn't ASUU that they reached out to before. Some of these your members were appointed to work with INEC as collation officers, but are there
As returning officers.
as returning officers rather, but are there checks that you do? Probably, okay, you investigate, and because you could actually feel the wrath of the people. If they can come to this studio, they will pounce on. They will pounce on.
Actually,
the
it
men.
is actually such responsibilities is just community service. Assuming myself as I am now, I can go to my village and start fighting to be the Eze of my village. You wouldn't blame ASUU that a professor is fighting in his village, doing Odieshi, calling court boys to become the Eze.
Okay.
That is just the point. It's community service.
So their actions have nothing to do
with ASUU whatsoever. I'm just giving. I can also belong to a church.
But the argument here now is that they are lecturers and they belong to an association, which is ASUU. That's the argument of some of the
ASUU
callers
never
here.
nominated them for that responsibility. Actually, the whole story started from the period of Jega. Jega was one-time president of ASUU.
Who was sometime also the president of the chairman of INEC, Atahiru Jega.
Yes, so Jega approached ASUU at the national level to co-opt them to become returning officers. ASUU gave their terms, and Jega took it home, and then as an INEC chairman, he had to report back to those who gave him the job, and he gave the terms, and there was no agreement, and ASUU pulled that.
Do you understand?
I get you. So
INEC wanted to use ASUU as a union to work for its election, but ASUU gave its conditions. INEC rejected it. So if any professor is working for INEC, he's not working as a member of ASUU. He's working as Professor A or B.
Interesting. This is a conversation I believe will be.
We'll have to do another day.
Definitely. Join us on Across the Paper tomorrow. I will actually get clips from this conversation and we throw the lines open. Do not blame us for the actions of the lecturers during election. I'm already giving a head. So, anyways, gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us this morning to discuss, and we hope you'll be able to resolve issues with the government and return to the university and lectures. Yes, Comrade.
So before we leave the studio, let me use this opportunity to appreciate our students who feel their exams have been disrupted.
They are not happy.
Yes, let them know that ASUU-IMSU has their best interest at heart. We are fighting for their own welfare. first of all. Let me also ask our management to have an understanding with us that even if our fight brings positive results, the management will be the first to benefit. So we appreciate our Vice Chancellor for the efforts he has been making despite his difficulties, the DVCs, the deans, and all the efforts. We ask them to be with us as they are with us, so that at the end, the powers that be will do the right thing.
All right.
As it is today, most of the results you see in many, especially in Imo State University, are fruits from the struggles of ASUU. Even the very office where our Vice Chancellor sits today is 2014 TED Fund, which TED Fund is a brainchild of ASUU. So we ask them to be with us, Comrade, so we get it right. Thank you.
Comrade Stephen Oguji, the chairperson for ASUU Imo State University, right? And Comrade Rich Ebe is the convener of CEPED. CEPED is Center for Popular Education. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
And that's the size of our package. Interesting and incisive conversation we've had with the gentlemen in the studio.
Yes, that's been our show. Let's quickly add that, you try to reach out these persons, they prove difficult. But if the Office of the Commissioner for Tertiary Education feels strongly about the issues that the ASUU representatives have dropped, please feel free to reach out, and we'll bring you to our studios to address them.
And we're happy for a debate.
That's you have that right of reply, because you've made efforts and it's not been positive. That's our show. My name is Angela Unko Akpolu. I wish you a beautiful morning. Remember, at every time, to be the best version of yourself.
Definitely. I love your voice this morning because you're speaking through your nose because of the Qatar. Thank you so much.
You meet me outside the studio
this morning.
You better call fire service, police, army, civil defense, and everybody to save you.
Verema is already out there. Thank you so much. My name is Michael Oni. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Abi you get brand? Why they whisper am like saying a secret? Make the word hear.